What's up guys, Xavier Wills here for Desktop Bodybuilding, and we are back with another action-packed video, and this is another one of those ones where we cover several topics in one video, and the last one was quite popular and you guys said you liked it, so we've got another one and there's plenty of news to cover too, and I didn't want to do an individual video on all of these things. So we're covering today Dexter Jackson in the Tampa Pro lineup officially. Iain Valliere switching coaches ahead of this weekend's Tampa Pro. We've got the coach he switched to and an updated videos from him. Brandon Curry posing 6 weeks out of the 2019 Mr. Olympia. And we have video footage of Roelly Winklaar and William Bonac training together in the Netherlands. So guys, let's launch into it straight away and we'll get into that Dexter Jackson story. And Dexter Jackson is in the 2019 Tampa Pro. There was speculation he wasn't going to be in there. He wasn't on the first 2 competitor lists that came out, and there was one more competitor added on the last release, and it was his name. And it sort of suits Dexter's personality, in my opinion. When you see him walk on the Olympia stage and I call his name, he walks slower than anyone. He'll let people overtake him and he'll just stroll out there real slow, fashionably late. So sort of suits his personality, and I love that Dexter probably added his name late and probably got that speculation going, but he wasn't even going to do the show, which is really cool. So it sets up for an awesome battle, and there's several different things here that can happen with points and who qualifies for the Olympia based on who beats who, and I'll review all that in my 2019 Tampa Pro preview, which will be going up very soon as well, you guys, so make sure you stay tuned and subscribe for that. But it's going to be a big battle, and most people are putting it between Dexter Jackson and Luke Sandoe. Now, this is for Dexter's 29th pro win. He wants 30, so he wants 2 more pro wins. Many people have gone around saying this is actually his 30th pro win. It actually won't be. It'll be his 29th, he stated in a video, but he wants to go for 30. So he wants at least another 2 pro wins. So some people are saying that he'll retire at the Olympia, which I don't think he will. If he wins this show, he's going to want to do one of those post-Olympia shows at least, maybe even compete into next year. So that's pretty interesting, and I think that Dexter Jackson has to be the hot favorite going into this weekend's Tampa Pro. But Luke Sandoe, as we showed on yesterday's video, go back and watch that if you want to see posing footage of Luke Sandoe, and I'll put a card at the top of the video here too. Next topic, Iain Valliere. Now, Iain Valliere has competed this year, and I'd say he's slightly underwhelmed me, to be honest with you guys. I mean, because I hold him in really high regard. Now, he came in last year's Olympia, I think he placed about 14th, and people said he could have been higher. So that's high regard for a guy like Iain Valliere. So Iain has switched coaches, reportedly by the looks of it anyway, by this post. Just went up by Patrick Tour, who's actually coaching several top guys right now. Aaron Pilates, my friend. Nicholas Vouliard, he's coaching Josh Lenartowicz right now. He's got a ton of really good athletes that he's working with. And he said this with these videos I'm about to put up. He said, I would say that after a pretty long flight, in brackets, just landed 2 hours ago, waking up very early, being on low carbs for 4 days, after 2 gallons of water already in and high sodium, IFB Iain looks pretty damn good and will only get better from here. Hashtag 3 days out, hashtag Tampa Pro, and so on. So, very interesting. And another bit I find really interesting. Now, Matt Jansen coached Iain Valliere for his last shows, I believe, or at least for the Vancouver show, I know he did. And Matt Jansen commented under there, wish you both the best with this weekend, or best this weekend. So that's a class act. So bravo to Matt Jansen. That really shows some class, because many coaches out there see, a coach-athlete relationship as being like a marriage, and when one person leaves them, they absolutely lose their mind and hate the person, which I think is the wrong way to go about it. So this shows a lot of class from Matt Jansen by posting that. But as we can see, Iain Valliere is looking nuts. Now, I think his conditions got better since those previous 2 shows he's done, and he's just looking so dry and sharp, and Patrick Tour obviously knows what he's doing. He brought, my friend in at his very best. He's bringing a lot of these guys in at their very best, and that's exciting to see. So I can't wait to see what he does with Iain Valliere, and it'll be interesting to see if Iain Valliere qualifies for the 2019 Mr. Olympia at this show. Okay, next thing, Brandon Curry posing 6 weeks out of the Olympia, probably more closer to 6.5 weeks out of the Olympia, but we really know that last half a week, not much happens apart from just dropping water. But Brandon Curry is looking damn good. I remember seeing a video coming out that Abdullah posted, which Abdullah posted this on his Instagram, which is Brandon Curry's coach, and he posted a video up, but I think it was more like a few weeks out of the Arnold Classic, and the conditioning looks similar to this. honest with you guys. I mean, and Brandon, I thought the Arnold's could have been slightly tighter, although I think it was the tightest I've probably ever seen him. He's still, he struggles with that conditioning, so he could. I thought, if he was slightly sharper, he would have won the Arnold Classic hands down, easy. He ended up winning it, but it was very close. Now, he looks in about the same condition as a video that came out, I think it was about 2.5 weeks out last time, and he looks bigger. I mean, those legs, that's the one knock on Brandon. He cops of it, he can't win the Olympia because his legs aren't big enough. Well, he looks like he's addressing that, and his legs look fuller in this video to me. And, I mean, if he's coming in with fuller legs, it kind of takes out a guy like Dexter Jackson, in my opinion, unless Brandon's off. Because Dexter, people, are saying, his legs are sort of starting to fade a little bit, which they are, since he won the Olympia, 11 years ago now. His legs have definitely deflated a little bit. And I thought maybe Dexter has a chance, if he's standing next to Brandon, you could say, Dexter's sharper and his legs are pretty comparable. Why can't you give it to Dexter? But if we're seeing this from Dexter, it's going to be pretty hard for him to beat a guy like Brandon. And Brandon is the rightful favorite right now for Arnold, for the Mr. Olympia, of winning that Arnold Classic. Now, I was thinking that people may be favoring Brandon a little bit too much, but based off of this video, based off photos we've seen, which I was expecting to see impressive photos and videos, but this video sort of actually impressed me a little bit more than I thought it would. I saw a video went up, I'm like, yeah, of course he's going to look good. But his legs, that's the one thing, and they are looking a little bit fuller to me. Anyway, the other two guys that are probably two of the other top three favorites for the 2019 Mr. Olympia, Roelly Winklaar and William Bonac, they are training together, or were training together over there in the Netherlands, where they both reside from. And it's kind of funny because, Bonac's from Florida. We know Roelly's meant to be in Kuwait training. Now, they've both met up in the Netherlands during their prep, so they've traveled there. I'm not sure if this was for an appearance or anything like that, but they're both training. They're both looking nuts. And I've got to say, when you're wearing a t-shirt or a singlet or whatever, Roelly's always going to look the more impressive out of the two, even though William has mental arms, because Roelly is just that next level of a freak, which doesn't mean he'll win, but he is just on another level. So I think if Roelly brings his best conditioning ever, or close to it, with this extra size, I mean, he's going to be hard to beat, even for Brandon to beat Roelly. Because, I mean, coming out of the Olympia last year, people were saying Roelly should be the favourite for next year's Olympia. He comes in out of condition at the Arnold's, yeah, and he was off, noticeably off. But had he not come in out of condition, would we be talking about this totally differently now? Because I feel like sometimes a guy comes in out of condition and they get ruled out for their next show, when in reality they just missed their mark with their conditioning. And we know that Roelly went out to Kuwait earlier this time. He's looking like he's sharper much, much earlier. Why can't Roelly win Miss Olympia? Because some people are just sort of forgetting about him and, push him to the side a little bit. But I mean, Roelly has a huge amount of fans. I think he's probably the most popular guy. Most people want him to win the Olympia this year. So I don't see why he can't, to be honest with you guys. He is just looking on another level. And also William Bonac, I mean, this guy comes in razor sharp. He'll probably come in the hardest out of the three, honestly, out of Brandon Curry and Roelly Winklaar. He'll probably come in the tightest, but losing his coach, Neil Hill, and I haven't heard that he's working with anyone else in particular, maybe he is behind the scenes, he might miss his mark. You never know. But William Bonac might also have that extra bit of motivation to prove Neil Hill wrong and that he can do it by himself. So that's going to be interesting in itself to see how William Bonac comes in after not being coached now by Neil Hill. Anyway, guys, that's it for this video pretty much. And I want to give a shout out, because I'm doing these shout outs at the end of every video now to people that comment, like, subscribe, share my stuff out there. And now this one is for actually someone giving me information on the Iain Valliere new coach deal. And this is from Matt Sprigg. And he wanted me also to give a shout out to Flex Fitness Club in Nuri Utpa in South Australia. So that's his gym. So shout out to you, Matt. Thank you so much for giving me that information and saying all those nice things about my channel, and saying you actually prefer watching me over Nick Strength and Power and RX Muscle, that's a huge compliment to me because I look up to those channels. So anyway, guys, thank you so much. If you want to shout out, leave it in the comments as well. And I have to kind of see you guys giving me something, give me plenty of comments and all that sort of stuff. And I appreciate all the love, guys. Honestly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Also, comment below. Let me know what you think about all these stories and, who you think is going to win the 2019 Mr. Olympia. And if you think Iain Valliere can rival any of these top guys at the Tampa Pro this weekend, including Dexter Jackson and Luke Sandoe. Also, Guys, if you like this channel, subscribe now. Hit the notification bell button. You'll be notified of every video that goes up from myself with Desktop Bodybuilding. You'd be silly not to. And guys, thank you from the bottom of my heart. This is Xavier Wills, Desktop Bodybuilding. We are out.